Welcome to We Connect. This episode of our show comes to you from the Ford plant at Marimalai Nagar, which is 45 kilometers outside of Chennai city. Mike Boneham is the president and the managing director of Ford India, and we're really pleased to have him as our guest today. Mike, thank you so much for having us at your plant.
My pleasure, my absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah.
Now, Ford has started very well this year, so the new year augurs well for you?
Yeah, we're very excited. I think the overall industry is experiencing tremendous growth, and for us, we've launched our new Figo in March of last year, and since that time, our problem has been how do we build the cars that our customers are demanding of, and that's a nice problem to have.
I know, indeed. You had 60,000 units that were actually sold in just under 1 year.
Yeah.
Did Ford actually expect that it would be this runaway success that it was?
Well, I guess we hoped, and the only way you can really define that is to say, okay, we need to position the vehicle in the heart of the small car segment, where 70% of all cars are sold here in India, in that hatchback segment. And so we had to work extremely hard on a number of inputs, and the key to that was obviously great quality, great price positioning, and to put the cost base to a level where we could then price position the car very aggressively. And fortunately, the customers have responded. We've had a terrific time in terms of awards. We're the most awarded car now.
18 awards, right?
Yeah. Well, actually now we've just had another 2 on top of that.
That makes
now
it 20.
So I'm
Wow.
so proud of that on behalf of the team, our employees, our suppliers and our dealers. And it's the most awarded car now in India ever.
Right.
And that's great, a great feeling.
Yes. But Ford was never really known, or hasn't really been known, for small cars till now. So do you believe that this is really a new beginning?
Well, absolutely, Jennifer. We've really, I think, gotten real about doing business here in India previously. You know, previously I think you could describe us as an interesting niche player. And we had great products in the segments we were in. We did very well in those segments, but those segments were very, very small in terms of overall volume here in India. So we realised 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago, that we needed to do something significant and focus in on India, along with China, but focused in on India to ensure that we could deliver an outcome that we believe Ford Motor Company could deliver. It's a great company globally, but we hadn't been doing well in India.
Right. So, well, then it is a new beginning. Now, one of the interesting things is that you had this midnight sale.
Yeah.
We're reading about it, and it was very successful. Great idea, don't you think?
Well, yeah, we called it the December Dhamal. I think that was,
yes.
And for us, we were bouncing around ideas. You know, December, of course, is an aggressive month for the car industry, and there's lots of competition out there doing all sorts of deals. So we were bouncing around ideas with the marketing team, and one of the team said, well, why don't we do a midnight sale? And for a while we were working through, does that make sense? And we said, well, let's give it a go. It absolutely surpassed all of our expectations to the tune of about 5 times. We had set a specific budget in terms of numbers, and we went 5 times over, well over 2,500 vehicles on that one day. It was linked up with some little prizes that were available to people if they called a specific number. You know, we created a holistic carnival feel around it, and for us, we were very, very pleased. It worked tremendously well. And I think you need to have that point of difference, not just in terms of the vehicle or the product itself, but in terms of your marketing strategy and doing things new, bright, different. People respond to that here in India.
Right. Now, you did mention that your problem could be now to cope with the demand.
Yeah.
So do you believe that you're going to be able to do that? I mean, is there a point at which a car company will say, hands up, I can't do this?
Well, I hope not.
I hope not too.
But I think it's a very good question, because what we've got, it's not just our facility and our capacity, it is our supply base and the value chain right through. And we are having a lot of work being done with our supply base to lift and support the demand here at Ford. But of course, many of those suppliers have common suppliers with other OEMs across India, and a number of others are in the same position.
Yeah.
For us as an industry, I think we've got a big challenge to really support the ongoing and predicted demand that we're expecting and growth here in India with the economic demographic moving as it is. When people want to demonstrate they've made it, they purchase a four-wheeler. It's a strong status symbol in terms of, I have now made it, I am doing well. And people will continue to buy four-wheelers despite the traffic, despite the parking
despite
issues.
everything else.
Yeah.
And of course, it's also definitely a car that is for the first-time car owner.
Yeah.
Right. So was it actually positioned as that when Ford had the idea about doing a car like this?
Well, it's interesting you asked that because I was a little surprised when we've looked at the data relative to the Figo. It's now about 45% of all of our buyers are first-time car buyers, and there is a segment below us, and you would sort of expect that they'd move through that segment and then into ours, into this small car B segment as we call it. There's an A segment. The answer is it's people are jumping that segment. There are others staying in that segment. For us, it's very gratifying that first-time car buyers are taking the decision to come with Ford. If we do this right, and I believe we are doing it right, the number of awards tell us we are, hopefully those buyers will stay with us right through their lifetime of car buying.
Right, upgrade to bigger cars and larger cars and more expensive cars. Are you, as the president and the managing director of Ford India, ever nervous about the competition in the small car industry in this country?
I'm always nervous about
it.
Really?
Is that a good way to be?
Well, I think it is. I think you have to have absolute respect for the competition, and we have unbelievable competition in that segment. To me, India is the most competitive small car market in the world by far. And if you can do business well here and be successful here, you can do it anywhere. Mm-hmm. And that's in terms of cost competitiveness, price positioning, in terms of meeting the value for money expectations that the customer has. And to me, the Indian consumer is as demanding as I have ever seen globally in terms of achieving value for money. They don't want cheap necessarily, they want value for money. And that provides a great challenge to the car industry. So all of us are running hard to provide a point of difference, provide great value for money. We think Ford with the Figo has done well. We've announced we're going to launch 8 new products between now and mid-decade, and that's the sort of level of growth and additional products that you need in the business to be competitive here.
Right. Mike, I'm going to ask you to hang on for a short while, and when I come back, I'm going to actually talk to you about your other experiences around Asia, where you've got vast experience, of course. We'll take a very short break here and reconnect, and then we'll get right back with you. So you don't go anywhere.